Hello, future engineers, subscribers, viewers, and students. Here is a video in plane and solid geometry. This is plane geometry 1. I'll discuss here about triangles and uh, quadrilaterals, as well as the principles and the associated formulas. So for triangles, it is defined as a closed plane figure bounded by three straight lines. Then we have two cases here as a representation, where the height is perpendicular to the base, which I chose to be the horizontal. So this is the height, and this is also the height perpendicular to vertex B. The area is 1/2 BH. So as promised from plane and spherical trigonometry, I promised that I'm going to present the derivation of the different formulas for the areas. So, but area is equal to 1/2 the product of the perpendicular dimensions. So for this situation here, it is 1/2 A times HA. If we call HA as the height perpendicular to side A, 1/2 B times HB, and 1/2 C times H sub C. So we'll call this area formula 1. In this formula, HA, HB, H sub C are called the altitudes. And we also note that H is equal to C sine angle A, and it is also equal to A sine angle C, which is also equal to B sine angle C. So that replacing H by C sine angle A in this formula here, 1/2 B times HB, which is this HB, or that HB there, which is C sine angle A. Then we're going to interpret area as 1/2 the product of adjacent sides. This is the formula that I want you to familiar with. 1/2 product of adjacent sides times sine of the included angle. And since there are three cases, then there will also be three formulas, but the most important thing to remember is area is 1/2 product of adjacent sides times sine of the included angle. And we'll call this set of formulas area formula 2. Though it is a formula, I hope that you will not memorize them. Just recite this and it's done. Next, from sine law, B over sine angle B is equal to C over sine angle C. So therefore, C is equal to B sine angle C over sine angle B. Substituting into this area of triangle, this one, so replacing C by B sine angle C over sine angle B, then we're able to formulate another formula for area of triangle in terms of a single side, which is read as area as square of any side times sine of the angles adjacent to that side. So sine adjacent to B, so for instance, B square sine angle A, sine angle C, because these angles are adjacent to B. Then divided by sine of the angle opposite to side B. We also note that sine angle B is equal to 180 degrees minus quantity angle A plus angle C. And sine of quantity angle 180 degrees, sine of quantity 180 degrees minus quantity angle A plus angle C is simply sine of quantity angle A plus angle C, because sine of an angle and its supplement are equal. So again, sine of an angle and its supplement are equal. So area is equal to this. Then you can recite other area formulas related to this. So a square sine angle B sine angle C over 2 sine angle A, C square sine angle A sine angle B over 2 sine angle C. You must also remember that the sum of the shorter sides of a triangle is always greater than the longest side. So these are the different formulas that we can formulate. So as I said, angle B is equal to 180 degrees minus angle A plus angle C, and sine of 180 degrees minus quantity angle A plus angle C is equal to sine of angle A plus angle C. Sine of an angle and the supplement are equal. So these are the different formulas that can be derived. These are area formula 3, but you're not obliged to memorize this. You may apply sine law to solve for another side, and or to solve for another side, then apply 1/2 area of triangle 1/2 product of adjacent sides times sine of the angle between or included between those sides. So next case would be the area of triangle in terms of the radius of the inscribed circle. So by the way, we call that incenter, the center of the inscribed circle in a triangle. So of course it's incenter, center of inscribed circle in a triangle. Then we form 3 triangles with center at O. So area is equal to area of triangle BCO plus area of triangle OAC plus area of repeating triangle OAB or BOA, whatever you name that triangle. So remember that area is 1/2 base times height, where height in this case would be the radius of the inscribed circle, which is denoted by R. So R and R. So area equals 1/2 AR plus 1/2 BR plus 1/2 CR. Factoring out R over 2, then we'll have A plus B plus C, R over 2 times A plus B plus C. And since A plus B plus C over 2 is denoted with S, half the perimeter of triangle, so area equals RS, where S is A plus B plus C over 2. Call that area formula 4. So we define an incenter as the center of the inscribed circle, or the other definition of that is it is the point of intersection of the angle bisectors. These are actually angle bisectors. You can easily see that this angle A is bisected by that line because we form 2 identical right triangles at B also. and at C. So we call these lines to the center, to the incenter, as angle bisectors. So that's the definition. The center, an incenter is the center of the inscribed circle or the point of intersection of the angular bisector. Next, let's have area of triangle in terms of the sides and the radius of the circumscribing circle about the triangle. And the center of the circle is called circumcenter in this case. And the circle is called circumcircle. So the center is denoted by O prime. O prime is called the circumcenter, which is the center of the circumscribing circle about a triangle, or it is the point of intersection of the perpendicular bisectors of the sides. So it may be this definition here. So take note of the other definition of the circumcenter. It is also the point of the intersection of the perpendicular bisectors of the side. So if you locate the midpoint of each side, then we draw perpendiculars, then these perpendicular lines will meet at O, called the circumcenter. So that's R, that's also R, then R. So let's prove here that the inscribed central angle rather is twice the corresponding inscribed angle subtending the same arc. So let's have this demonstration here, and let's have a point on the circle called that A, and this is supposedly the vertex angle of a triangle, or we can always inscribe a triangle in a circle. So this is the arc subtended by the point at A on the circle, and let's call that alpha, peripheral or inscribed angle. And at A prime, which subtends the same arc, the angle will not change. This is also alpha. And at this point also, that's also alpha. The limiting position of this point would be the endpoints of this arc, and one of the supposedly chords would be reduced to a tangent. So like here, that's the tangent, and this is the other chord. The angle here is also alpha. So from geometry, theorem in geometry, the arc subtended, the angle subtended by a circular arc at the point on the circle is called inscribed angle or peripheral angle, and it will not change as long as it will not cross the arc. So the limiting position of this point subtending that arc would be the endpoints of the arc. So this is the center of the circle, and it will also subtend the same arc. Let's prove now that this angle beta, central angle beta, is twice that angle alpha. So alpha is called an inscribed or peripheral angle, and beta is called central angle. So let's have it here, another demonstration. So we have here the arc BC, then the center of the circle subtending the same arc, and let us call the angle O prime AC, because this is an isosceles triangle, that's also R, as equal to, so triangles A, B, O prime, and A, C, O prime are isosceles. So I'll call this P. Take note the entire angle here is alpha. So that is P. Then this is also P, and this is alpha minus P. That's also P. That's alpha minus P. That is also alpha minus P because this is isosceles. And this angle here is equal to 180 degrees minus 2 times quantity alpha minus P. Remember the sum of the interior angles of a triangle. So in the sum of angles A, O prime, B, then B, O prime, C, and C, O prime, A will be a full angle, and that is equal to 360 degrees. So where angle A, O prime, B is this angle here, 180 degrees, minus 2 times quantity alpha minus P, plus beta, and then plus this angle which is 180 degrees minus 2 times P. So 180 degrees minus 2 times P equals 360 degrees. So simplifying, we have 180, 180, 360 out. Then we have negative 2 alpha plus 2P. Anyway, let's expand first. So we can simplify this into beta equals 2 alpha because we cancel out 360 degrees. We also cancel out 2p and negative 2p, leaving beta minus 2 alpha equals 0, so beta equals 2 alpha. So that proves, this is just one proof, that proves that central angle is twice the corresponding inscribed or peripheral angle. In words, the central angle is twice the corresponding inscribed angle, or the inscribed angle is 1/2 the measure of the angle occupied by its subtended arc. So if this is the inscribed angle and it subtends that arc, whatever is occupied by this arc here in degrees or in radians, half of that would be the corresponding angle, the corresponding inscribed angle. And that angle there is also the angle occupied by this beta here. So whatever is the measure of that arc, whatever is the angle occupied by that arc, that's angle beta. And alpha is half of beta, or the other way around, beta is twice alpha. So because of that fact, we can now have the derivation of area of triangle in terms of these three sides here and the radius of the circumscribing circle. So take note that we formed an isosceles triangle BO prime C. Then because this is an isosceles triangle, if we drop a line perpendicular to the opposite side, beginning at the center, or in other words, this is the perpendicular bisector, and we form three isosceles triangle. So if we draw a line from the midpoint of one side to the center, and that is perpendicular to that side, So that's why the circumcenter, the center of the circumscribing circle, is also the point of intersection of the perpendicular bisectors. So since the measure of this angle, subtending arc BC, is twice this angle A here, so therefore this is angle A, and that is also angle A. From this right triangle, because side A is bisected into A over 2, so sine angle A is equal to opposite A over 2 over R, or A over 2R. Remember that area of triangle is 1/2 BC sine angle A. We replace sine angle A by A over 2R and by sine law also. Then because A divided by sine angle A equals 2R, that's the reason why the ratio of any side to sine of the angle opposite it is always the diameter of the circumscribed circle, 2R. That's constant. So again, replacing sine angle A equals A over 2R from area of triangle 1/2 BC sine angle A. Then we have area of triangle equals ABC over 4R. Call this area formula 5. Then let's have the Heron's formula or Hero's formula. Let's derive it. So remember, this is the inscribed circle. The radius is small r. And the center is in center. We form three triangles where the hypotenuse is treated as this radius of the inscribed circle. So R and also this one R, and these two triangles are identical. So because they have the same opposite side, opposite of this angle R, the hypotenuse is common. In this right triangle also, opposite is R, the hypotenuse is OC. So these two are equal. That means that this line CO bisects the vertex angle C. In short, this in center is also the point of intersection of these angle bisectors or angular bisectors. So that's also R. So from the figure, we have, if we call this side X, this is B minus X. That's also B minus X. And this is X. So this is C minus X. That's also C minus X. And because this is B minus X, then from the figure A equals B minus X plus C minus X. C minus X, B minus X. So 2X equals B plus C minus A. And if we add 2A, we add 2A to, in short, if we change this to if we replace A by A minus 2A, we can do that. So 2X equals A plus B plus C minus 2A. And we note that after we divide by 2, X is quantity A plus B plus C over 2 minus A. And since this is S, X is equal to S minus A. X is S minus A. Right? And therefore, from this triangle, because this is the bisector of angle A, that's also angle A over 2. Tangent of angle A over 2 is R over X. And since X is S minus A, so tangent of half angle formula, tangent of angle A over 2 equals R over X S minus A. Likewise, tangent of angle B over 2 is R over S minus B, and tangent of angle C over 2 is R over S minus C. After we study this formula here and we just pattern this, the above formula. So another formula, that's formula for half angle, another formula for half angle. Note from trigonometry that tangent of A over 2 is square root of quantity 1 minus cosine A all over 1 plus cosine A. If we square both sides, then tangent square of A over 2 equals 1 minus cosine angle A over 1 plus cosine angle A. And from cosine law, A square equals B square plus C square minus 2BC cosine of angle A. Then from here, we define cosine angle A as B square plus C square minus A square all over 2BC. And since tangent of A over 2 is R over S minus A, this tangent square of angle A over 2 is also R square over S minus A quantity square. And we substitute the value of cosine A into the right side of the equation. So R square over S minus A square equals 1 minus quantity B square plus C square minus A square over 2BC all over 1 plus quantity B square plus C square minus A square over 2BC. Simplifying, R square over S minus A square equals 2BC minus B square minus C square plus A square all over 2BC plus B square plus C square minus A square. Then rearranging, let's change the group and write it as follows so that they can be written as difference of two squares. So they are just equal, you just study that, that's algebra. So we simplify this as B minus C quantity square. This is a perfect square trinomial as well as this. This is B plus C quantity square. And by factoring, we have R square over S minus A quantity square equals A minus quantity B minus C times quantity A plus quantity B minus C all over B plus C minus A, then B plus C plus A, the factors of that. So simplifying further, and we write this as this is A minus B plus C, which is A plus B plus C minus 2B. This is A plus B plus C minus 2C. This is A plus B plus C minus 2A. And this is simply A plus B plus C or 2S. Or you just write that as A plus B plus C. So again, this is A plus B plus C minus 2B. This is A plus B plus C minus 2C. This is A plus B plus C minus 2A. And we just simply leave that as A plus B plus C. So this is 2S. Take note that A plus B plus C is 2S. So copy the left side and replace A plus B plus C equal to 2S in the right side. And we factor out 2, factor out 2. So we cancel 2, 2, and this 2 here. Leaving in the numerator, we have R square over S minus A square equals S minus B times S minus C over S minus A times S. Then we cross multiply, so we have S minus A times S minus B, S minus C all over S, because we cancel S minus A in the denominator. We have S minus A square in the numerator. So finally, R is square root of quantity S minus A, S minus A, S minus B, S minus C, all over S. So in other words, before we extract the square root, we multiply S here, then make this S squared. So this is the formula for the radius of the inscribed circle. Then since area is RS also, take note that we derived area equals RS before. Then we replace R by that, so we can cancel S. So this is now the Heron's formula. Area of triangle is S, quantity S minus A, S minus B times S minus C. Call that area formula 6, the Heron's formula. then leaving just one more formula. So let's have one more formula. Area of triangle in terms of radius of ascribed circles. So a ascribed circle is a circle tangent to one side and the prolongation of the other side. So if it is tangent to A, the radius is denoted by R sub A as shown. Then we form a quadrilateral joining the original triangle and another triangles as shown. So that's R sub A, R sub A, R sub A. So that the area of triangle ABC, or the area of the triangle, is area of triangle ACO plus area of triangle ABO. Then we subtract the area of triangle BCO. So the area of triangle ACO is 1/2 B times R sub A. The area of triangle ABO is 1/2 C times R sub A. Then minus area of triangle BCO, 1/2 of A times RA. Factor out RA over 2, then we'll have quantity B plus C minus A, which can be written as A plus B plus C minus 2A. So area of triangle is R sub A over 2, quantity A plus B plus C minus 2A. So take note that this is 2S. So area of triangle R sub A over 2, quantity 2S minus 2A. So we cancel 2. The area of S triangle, therefore, in terms of the radius of the ascribed circle is R sub A quantity S minus A. So which can be easily patterned for the other case. Area of triangle is R sub B times quantity S minus B. Area of triangle is R sub C, quantity S minus C. These are the different forms. So we call this area formula 7. So that's the area of a triangle in terms of the radius of the ascribed circle. Then other elements of a triangle is an angle bisector, because if the point of intersection of the angle bisectors is the incenter, remember, we already defined this. So this is an angle bisector through A, then angle bisector through B, angle bisector through C. The point of intersection is the incenter or center of the inscribed circle. So this is the analysis, so that if you are confronted with determining the length of the angle bisector, so let us say we want to determine the length of angle bisector B. So this is the involved analysis. So let us say we want the length of angle bisector A, bisector through B rather. So we have to solve for angle, either angle B or angle C by cosine law, considering the entire triangle. Because we want, so in this problem, given all the sides of the triangle, so solve for angle B or angle C by the cosine law. And after solving for either this angle, we solve for angle A, also by cosine law, since we have angle D here. Example, that angle D in this lower triangle is equal to 180 degrees minus angle A over 2 minus angle C. Because we remember we compute angle C by cosine law, considering the entire triangle, and we also compute angle A also by cosine law. We just solve two angles by cosine law. From there, we can analyze the length of the angle bisector. So if this is the angle bisector through A, which I denoted A sub B, then we can compute this by sine law. By sine law, because angle D can be found 180 degrees minus angle A over 2 minus angle C. So by sine law, A sub B as to sine angle C equals side B as to sine angle D. So this is the specific formula. Angle bisector through A as to sine of angle C equals side B, which is known as to sine angle D, which is defined by that. You don't need to memorize. The analysis is simple. Just remember the definition of angle bisector. So other formulas, we have direct formulas here. Direct formulas, but you need to memorize. So this angle bisector will cut the opposite side into two parts, x and of course a minus x as shown. So a sub b is equal to 2 square root of bcs quantity s minus a all over b plus c. So you need to memorize this. I think I derived these formulas in my Vitamath, in my playlist, Vita Mathematics, Vitamath. You just look at the derivation of these formulas. But my mnemonic aid in memorizing this is, it is 2 square root of BCS, then it is S minus A, because the first two, take note that this is the angle bisector through A, and these sides here, so 2 square root of these sides here are adjacent to that angle bisector. Then we have S minus A because these two sides are BC, so it should be B S minus A. Then divide the entire radical by bringing down these two sides B and C, B plus C. So if we pattern that, then the formula for B sub B by angle bisector through vertex B would be 2 square root of ACS times S minus B all over A plus C. Then C sub B, the angle bisector through C, is the adjacent sides are AB, so ABS quantity S minus C all over A plus B. It's just familiar one. And to memorize this formula, then you have to draw this figure so that it is 2 times, do not forget, it is 2 times square root of BCS, then times quantity S minus A all over whatever are the sides in the radical B and C, bring them down, and you have to add B plus C. So that's my mnemonic aid. That's my way of memorizing that formula. So my challenge is derive the direct formulas for the angle bisectors. But as I said, if you want to see the derivation, look at my Vitamath playlist. I cannot remember the problem number, but I think it's there. Other important formulas is angle bisector square. The square of this is equal to BC. Please the product of these adjacent sides, minus the product of the sides cut by this angle bisector. So what are the sides cut by this angle bisector? So let us say this is x, and this is a minus x. So that's x, then a minus x. So again, angle bisector square, just memorize one, is equal to BC, product B and C, then minus product x and a minus x. Then there are three cases. These are the three cases. Square of angle bisector. True B is AC minus x times quantity B minus x. And C sub B square equals AB minus x times quantity C minus x. You don't need to memorize. You just draw the figure, then from there, you can recall the formula. For instance, for this direct formula here, 2 square root of BCS times S minus A divided by B plus C. Then for this case, square of this angle bisector is equal to BC minus x times quantity A minus x. So you should also state that in words. Next is, the next element is the median of a triangle. The median of a triangle is the line segment joining the vertex and the midpoint of the opposite side of the triangle. The point of intersection of the medians is called the centroids. That's the centroid, the point of intersection of the medians. So you should know the definition of a median, what a median is. Then the point of intersection of the medians is the centroid. The next concept would be the length of median, say A sub n. So since the median is a line segment that is drawn from one vertex to the midpoint of the opposite side, then the opposite side is bisected into A over 2, A over 2. So this is the analysis. So let's determine the length of the median AN. You either consider the upper triangle or the lower triangle. So we solve either angle B or angle C by cosine law. Then, for instance, we solve for angle C, then we apply cosine law again to solve for A sub n. Right? A sub n square is equal to B square plus A over 2 quantity square minus 2B A over 2 cosine of angle C, which can be reduced to AM square equals B square plus A over 2 square minus AB cosine of angle C, because 2B times A over 2 is AB. So that's the formula without memorizing the direct formulas. This is the suggested way because we are not machines where we can easily memorize formulas. But if you can use the basic formulas and principles like the law of cosines, then we can analyze that this AN here can be solved by cosine law alone. We also note that the median divides the area into two equal parts or into halves. Because if we call this angle theta here, so this angle is 180 degrees minus theta. The area of this triangle, remember, is 1/2 product of adjacent side sine of included angle. So area of triangle ABD is 1/2 AM A over 2 sine theta. Likewise, area of ACD is 1/2 AM A over 2, so same sides, sine of 180 degrees minus theta. But since sine of theta and sine 180 degrees minus theta are equal, then we have shown that the areas are equal, so the median divides the area into two equal parts. For the direct formula of this median, it is equal to 1/2 square root of 2 b 2 times quantity b square plus c square minus a square. 2 times, so 1/2 square root of 2 b square plus 2 c square minus a square. You may rather distribute so that you can easily recall. So 1/2 2b square plus 2c square minus a square. You just pattern that formula, then b sub n here is 1/2 square root of 2 times quantity a square plus c square minus b square. And c sub m 1/2 square root of 2 quantity a square plus b square close minus c square. So these are the direct formulas, but you are obliged to memorize them if you want to recall them. Memorize, but this is the suggestion so that you will not memorize. If you want the derivation of this, then you just look at my Vitamath playlist. It is one of the problems there, the derivation of that formula. And that's also my challenge to you to derive the direct formulas. Another important concept is the orthocenter. The orthocenter is the point of intersection of the altitudes. So you draw lines from the vertex to the perpendicular to the opposite sides, then these lines intersect at a point called orthocenter. The orthocenter, centroid, and the circumcenter all lie on a straight line, and that line is called Euler's line. And we can only verify this by drawing correctly a triangle and drawing the altitudes, drawing the medians accurately, and the center of the circumscribing circle. All these points lie on a straight line. We can prove that in analytic geometry if we put also numerical values. It's longer but if we prove it geometrically. So we now illustrate the Euler's line and 3 points mentioned. So that's the altitude through A, altitude through B, and altitude through C. This point of intersection is called the orthocenter. And if we have the medians, the centroid, and the circumcenter, those are the medians. That's the centroid. And finally, we draw a circle circumscribing the triangle, and we draw perpendicular bisectors of the sides, or we simply locate the center of the circumscribing circle. But to locate this, we locate the midpoints first of the sides, then draw lines perpendicular to those sides. Then they meet here, called the circumcenter. And notice that all these 3 points lie on the straight line called the Euler's line. So next, when the triangle formed by joining the foot of the perpendicular lines on the sides of the triangle from an inside point P of the triangle is called a pedal triangle. So if we draw a line from any point inside the triangle, then line perpendicular to the sides, then a triangle is formed by joining the foot of those perpendicular. That triangle is called pedal triangle rather. So this is any chosen point P, and we draw from that P perpendiculars to the sides, a triangle is formed by joining this foot of this perpendicular. So we call that pedal triangle. When P is the orthocenter, a triangle form is called orthic triangle. So remember orthocenter, uh, the point of intersection of the altitudes. So if P is the orthocenter, then we draw perpendicular to the sides, and we call that the orthic triangle. When P is the in-center, the center of the inscribed circle, we also call that the in-touch triangle. And when P is on the circumcircle, the triangle collapses to a line called pedal line or Simpson's line. So if P is on the circumference of the circumscribing circle, as shown, like this one, then when we draw perpendiculars to the sides, then joining them, there's no triangle form but rather a line, and that line is called pedal line or Simpson's line. Like this one, we draw from this point on the circumference of the circumscribing circle, we draw lines perpendicular to the sides. If not, the prolongation of the sides like this, then perpendicular to that. So joining this foot of these perpendiculars, there's no triangle form, but the triangle collapses to that pedal line or Simpson's line. Our concept on triangles would be that of similar triangles. So we define similar triangles as triangles with at least two corresponding angles, because automatic the third angle would be equal. If two corresponding angles of a triangle are equal, then automatic the third angles are also equal. So these two triangles are similar. So parallel, then we have to call the corresponding sides of this inner triangle A prime, B prime, and C prime respectively. Therefore, the ratio of outer side A to A prime equals B, B prime, C, C prime, H, H prime, and that is also true for the ratio of the perimeters, perimeter P prime. So the area of triangle is 1/2 base times height. Area of triangle prime, inner 1/2 B prime, H prime. So equating the two, then we can form B over B prime equals H over H prime. And B over H is equal to B prime over H prime also. So therefore, if we solve for B prime, it is B H prime over H. And substitute into area of triangle prime, 1/2 BH prime A over H, which is 1/2 B prime, and times H prime. Simplifying, area of triangle prime is 1/2 BH prime square over H. So B therefore is equal to 2 times, because area of the bigger triangle 1/2 BH, then B is equal to 2 times area of triangle over H. So area of triangle T prime is 1/2 of B. B is 2 area of triangle over H, and H prime square over H. Simplifying that, area of triangle prime is area of triangle outer H prime over H square. So the ratio of area of triangle outer triangle to the area of the inner triangle, area T over area T prime is also equal to the square of corresponding dimensions. What are the corresponding dimensions? Altitude. So altitude square over h prime square. So this is continued as an equality, and that is also true for a prime square over a square over a prime square, b square over b prime square, c square over c prime square, perimeter square over perimeter prime square. So you can continuously extend that equality so that the ratio of perimeters p over p prime is also square root of area of triangle T, area T over square root of area T prime. And for similar triangles, I already demonstrated this in trigonometry, that if we have a dividing line, say that one, DE, or in this case, another dividing line DE, take note that the area of triangle ADE is 1/2 ABAE sine of that included angle, sine of angle A, and the area of triangle ABC is 1/2 ABAC sine of angle A. So cancel out 1/2 and sine angle A. So the ratio of the areas ADE and ABC is simply the ratio of the product of corresponding sides. So ADAE then over ADAC, adjacent sides. So we define next about a right triangle has one vertex angle measuring 90 degrees. The hypotenuse of the triangle, we already demonstrated and shown this in trigonometry, is the hypotenuse is the diameter of the circumscribing circle. Or the chords from the ends of the diameter to the point on the circumcircle are perpendicular to each other. So this is the demonstration. This hypotenuse is the diameter of the circumscribing circle. Then that's 90 degrees. So that's the hypotenuse, which is C hypotenuse diameter. Then we draw a line from the 90-degree angle perpendicular to that side. And from sine law, C, remember from sine law, any side divided by sine of the angle opposite it is equal to the diameter of the circumscribing circle. So that's why C over sine 90 is the hypotenuse, and it is equal to 2r, or the diameter. So sine 90 is 1, that's why C is 2r, equals the hypotenuse. And by similar triangles, in this case, we show that H, the mean proportional between the portion of the ends it cuts. So if I call this angle theta, this is also theta, then H as to AD, so that is tangent, cotangent theta, H as to AD equals BD adjacent as to H as to AD, H as to AD, adjacent as to opposite. And in this case, we have BD as to H as opposite. And it is also equal to BC as to AC. So by similar triangles, H as to AD equals BD as to H in triangle BCD. It is also equal to BC as to AC. So in short, in this equation, h squared equals AD times BD, which is interpreted as the altitude drawn from the 90-degree angle to the opposite side. The square of that, it is the mean proportional to the segment it cuts. These are the segments cut by H, AD, and BD. That's why you have AD and BD there. Another concept is about a Heron's triangle, which is a triangle having both its perimeter and areas integers or whole numbers. So these are the examples of a Heron's triangle. I want you to compute for the area using the Heron's formula if you want. If it is a right triangle, then you can use 1/2 product of perpendicular dimensions. While a perfect triangle is a Heron's triangle having its area and perimeter equal to each other. So an example of this would be example 4, 9, 10, 17 sides. So you compute the area, a whole number, the perimeter, which is 9 plus 10, 19 plus 17, 36. Perimeter is 36. The area is also 36 square units. So they are equal. Then it is a perfect triangle. Finally, let's have quadrilaterals, which is a four-sided closed polygon. Then let's develop a formula for the area. So depending on the given information, given elements, the area is in general, for a general quadrilateral, square root of quantity s minus a, s minus b, s minus c, s minus d, minus a, b, c, d, cosine square of p. Where p here is the average of opposite angles. So 1/2 of angle C plus angle A plus angle C, or 1/2 of angle B plus angle D. That's the definition of P. And S is, this time, because it is a quadrilateral, it is half the perimeter. That is 1/2 of quantity A plus B plus C plus D. So this is the definition of P. That's for S, half the perimeter. P is average of opposite angles. So area of quadrilateral, if this is the dividing line and this dividing line has length D1, which is the diagonal, then it divides the quadrilateral into triangles. If angles B and D are known, then we can compute the area of the quadrilateral as simply the sum of these two triangles, sum of areas of these two triangles. And it is 1/2 AB sine of angle B. Remember, area of triangle, 1/2 product of adjacent side sine of included angle. And plus 1/2 of CD sine angle D. That's one. Don't memorize because you should know already the area of a triangle. Then if it is diagonal 2 that divides the quadrilateral into two areas, then it is 1/2 AD sine angle A plus 1/2 BC sine angle C. Do not memorize also because it is just the sum of two triangles, areas of two triangles. Then these diagonals divide the quadrilateral into four parts. So it is equal to area of triangle ABO. Let's call that theta. Adjacent angle adjusted angle 180 degrees minus theta, and these two are equal to theta. So area of quadrilateral is area of triangle ABO plus area of triangle BCO plus area of triangle CDO plus area of triangle ADO or DAO. Area of triangle ABO is 1/2 BO times AO times sine of theta. Then area of triangle BCO is 1/2 of BOCO sine of 180 degrees minus theta. BOCO times sine of 180 degrees minus theta. Remember, 1/2 product of adjacent side sine of the included angle. Then area of triangle CDO, 1/2 of CO DO sine of theta. And finally, 1/2 of AO DO sine of 180 degrees minus theta. We note that sine of 180 degrees minus theta is just sine theta. And if we factor out 1/2, then we can have 1/2 sine theta, because sine 180 degrees minus theta is equal to sine theta also, of the quantity AO times BO plus BO times CO plus CO times DO plus DO times AO. So 1/2 sine theta, if we have common here, like AO and the last term, second and the third term, the common is CO. So if we factor out AO, then we have B for first and last, AO times BO plus DO. Then for these middle terms, factor out CO, then we have BO plus DO also. So area of quadrilateral 1/2 sine theta, quantity AO times quantity BO plus DO. Then for these two terms, middle term CO is common, then BO plus DO. Factor out BO plus DO, so area of quadrilateral is 1/2 sine theta times quantity AO plus CO times quantity BO plus DO. And we note that AO plus CO is diagonal 1, while BO plus DO is diagonal 2. So it's still like 1/2 product of the diagonals times sine of the angle between the diagonals. That's area of the quadrilateral. Then a quadrilateral that is inscribed in a circle is called cyclic quadrilateral. That's very rare, but if you can find that, it is called a cyclic quadrilateral. Like a square can be inscribed in a circle. A rectangle can also be inscribed in a circle. So those are cyclic quadrilaterals. But it may also be an irregular quadrilateral that can be inscribed in a circle. Then it is also a cyclic quadrilateral. If a cyclic quadrilateral is circumscribed about a circle, which is very, very, very rare, it is also a cyclic quadrilateral. So for other facts about cyclic quadrilateral, so we have here the cyclic quadrilateral, which is inscribed in a circle. Then we locate the center. Then from the center, we connect to vertex B and vertices B and D. Take note that this is the radius of the circumscribing circle, R. The measure of this angle is, by principle, because this is an inscribed angle subtending arc BCD, the measure of this angle is equal to double that angle A, 2 times angle A. Likewise, this angle is angle C, and this is supposedly double the angle C, because angle C subtends this arc. which is the same arc subtended by the center. But I just first expressed this in terms of 360 degrees minus 2 angle A. And by definition, by principle, we already proved in the preceding slides that this is double that of angle C. So that is, angle C is 1/2 of this central angle, corresponding central angle. Distribute 1/2, so angle C is 180 degrees minus angle A. Or opposite angles in a cyclic quadrilateral are supplementary. Sine angle C is 180 degrees minus angle A. Or sine angle A, or if this is angle A, angle C, opposite angles, the sum of opposite angles is equal to 180 degrees, or opposite angles are supplementary. So that is angle A plus angle C equals 180 degrees, and angle B plus angle D equals 180 degrees. Remember that we denoted the average of opposite angles in a general quadrilateral as P. For a cyclic quadrilateral, that P, the average of opposite angles, is equal to 90 degrees, because opposite angles of a cyclic quadrilateral, opposite angles are supplementary. So half, 90 degrees. And since the formula, in the formula for area of quadrilateral, square root of S minus A, S minus B times S minus C, S minus D, minus ABCD cosine square of P. Take note that cosine of P is 0. Square it, it's still 0. So the area of a cyclic quadrilateral reduces to square root of quantity S minus A, S minus B, S minus C times S minus D. Another formula for area of cyclic quadrilateral in terms of the radius of the circle. Remember, for triangle ABC over 4R, that's my mnemonic guide in memorizing the formula for area of quadrilateral in another way. It is square root of, first, let's call the sides A, B, C, D. So it is square root of, there are 3 factors, A, B, C, so, but it's not A, B, C here. It's sum of product of adjacent sides. So square root of quantity AB plus CD times sum of product of opposite sides AC times BD, then times sum of product of adjacent sides again, but in the other way, AD plus BC, divided by 4R. ABC over 4R, 4R, that's my guide, mnemonic aid in the numerator. Square root of AB, I do not memorize that, but I use the elements here. So square root of quantity AB plus CD times quantity AC times BD, opposite, sum of product of opposite sides, times sum of product of adjacent sides, again, AD plus BC, divided by 4R. Now, since in a cyclic quadrilateral, we have the diagonals. If we have this diagonal which divides the triangle into 2 triangles, the quadrilateral into 2 triangles, then area is, remember, 1/2 AB sine angle B plus 1/2 CD sine angle D. But since sine of angle B equals sine of angle B, because they are supplementary, I just use angle B. You can also use angle B if you want. I factor it out. So 1/2 sine angle B times AB plus CD. It is also equal to, if we have diagonal 2, 1/2 of sine of angle A times quantity AD plus BC. So it is still applicable. Or if we have 2 diagonals, 1 and 2, and they form an angle theta, or 180 degrees minus theta, it doesn't matter. the area is 1/2 diagonal 1 diagonal 2 sine of theta, which is also true for the general quadrilateral. Then we have Ptolemy's theorem. This theorem, you just look at the proof of this theorem in YouTube. I also prove this in my channel, particularly under Vita Mathematics. It states that the product of the diagonals, D1 and D2, is equal to the sum of the product of the opposite sides. So equals AC plus BD. In other words, D1, D2 is equal to this middle factor here in this area of cyclic quadrilateral. But it's better to state it in words. The product of the diagonals is equal to the sum of the product of opposite sides of a cyclic quadrilateral. Then, finally, cyclic quadrilateral circumscribe about a circle. This is very rare. If a cyclic quadrilateral is very rare, this is very, very, very rare. Area is equal to RS for this case. We can easily prove that in the same manner that we prove area of a triangle, RS, where R, small r, is the radius of the inscribed circle. You just divide this into 4 triangles, then you can definitely derive that. Where S is 1/2 of quantity A plus B plus C plus D. Then the other one is square root of A, B, C, D. But do not think to use this formula. It is only applicable for this very, 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 very rare cyclic quadrilateral. Do not say you're just going to memorize this because this is the easiest formula to memorize. That is applicable for this, but for the cyclic quadrilateral in general, you cannot apply that. So that's it for this video. And the second part of this is the solutions to sample problems under this topic.